Thank you for downloading my indicator, and I've spent many hours, hundreds if not thousands of hours over this, and over the period of 4 or 5 years, and really in the goal to develop a decent indicator that didn't repaint. So as you've seen in my back test, I've made a trading system for Euro USD dollar, because I think where I've failed in the past is I've developed an indicator but haven't really shown you a strategy on how to use it. So hopefully this video will really help you to get a handle on what it does. There's a fair bit in this indicator. It can do a fair bit. So first of all, I'll just start here with the default settings of the new release of the indicator I just brought out, version 4.10. So the default settings are as this. So first of all, you'll see that there isn't too many candles back there. So I've decreased the maximum max bars just to speed up slower PCs and things like that. But for the time being, we'll just put 5,000 on it so we can really just see what it's doing. Right, so you can see that's going back a bit. Now, I don't personally believe that this is the best setting to use, but with the euro dollar and these stop loss and take profits, this is what just worked beautifully for the EA. So I've left it there because if this is working well for the EA, you should be able to do exactly the same manually. But of course, you don't need to be taking every one of these arrows. You might not want to. You might just want to take 4 or 5 of these arrows out of here. It's still going to end up pretty much the same sort of system. So I'll just go through the different trading styles I got here. So first we'll start with scalper, and I'll take the trend off. Okay, I'll explain a bit more about that in a minute. So with a scalper, obviously you want to use it on lower time frames. So maybe minute 5, 15, things like that. I think it's pretty good results. They've certainly got a lot better than what they were as the versions have gone on. I really don't think I can get any better than what it is for these signals for scalper and the day trader. So you could use these scalper arrows in a combination with one of your other trading systems, or later I will show you how the EA can actually make pretty good money just by taking these signals with a stop loss and exiting at the opposite signal. So it is a trading system in itself just there. So let's go to the day trader. Yeah, I'll jump down to the day trader first because they're very similar, obviously. So we're basically looking at the same sort of thing, but less signals. The signals aren't too bad. Pretty happy with them. And you want to be working around maybe H4, H1, minute 30, minute 15 perhaps with the day trader signals. Minute 30 seems to be the sweet spot for the EA, and minute 15. So I'm probably thinking, you know, I'll stick to minute 13 when trading manually and with an EA on this indicator mostly. There's still plenty of pips to be made there from minute 30, that's for sure. So if we now go to outbreak, no, sorry, I'll go back to scalper, and I'll show you. I'll put the trend setting on here. So 0 means it's going to show the top and the bottom arrows. If I put a 1 in there, see, it says 1 for on, 0 for off. If I put a 1 in there, it's basically going to use, I think it was the 100 SMA or EMA average moving indicator to show this. So look, if I just put that in there, you'll see that it now should only show the bottom half of that scalper arrow and then the top. So it's basically following a moving average. And this tends to give it really good signals because the scalper is actually taking the pullbacks. So it generally doesn't take the signal when it's down low in the valley, which is exactly what you want. You want to get these good pullbacks. So I mean, these signals are really, really good with the scalper and adding trend. You know, and for years I've tried to pick tops and bottoms, and that's how I traded, and I failed for a long time for that reason. As soon as I started trading trend, you know, I started becoming successful. And it's really, when you look at this, you look at it and you think, why would I want to try and pick the bottom of this when I can just be picking each little pullback, each top? And a lot of people don't trade the trend because they don't know where to get in on it. And this indicator will really help you, as you can see, find the right spot to jump in on that trend. So then obviously if we change this now to day trader with this trend arrow on, we're going to get more accurate signals but less of them. So for me personally, I like to experiment with the scalper and the trend. Okay. So with the outbreak, as I said, I was using this for the EA primarily. We can see what that's like without a trend setting, because normally it comes with a 200 moving average. So this is what it's like without the moving average. It's kind of similar. Hello. There we go. So yeah, with the 200 moving average, you got to get a better result with that one. So there's 3 options there for you. The MTF trader, day trader, is mostly used for to show where you can be actually exiting your trades as a reversal arrow. It's I think it's something I can really improve on yet, and I haven't done a great deal of work in it. Let's see, let's zoom out a bit. It's not really made for trading, it's just made for the reversals. So example, if we put scalper on, and then you see show TP alerts and active trade. So if we turn both them, actually if we just turn that one on, That should give us the arrow, I do believe. Right. Yeah. It needs work. Just ignore that bit until I fix it with the next update, sorry. So just turn it off. Okay, so I started to develop the MTF side, the dashboard, because I wanted to get more accuracy entering trades. So let's just put this back to 1, and then if we come down to these show MTF arrows, we can turn it on, and in here you can put in your time frames. So I'm still experimenting which time frames are best to use for, like, you know, the actual period, because if you add too many you get a delayed result in the signal, and if you don't add enough it's too sensitive, and the trend doesn't carry on. So there's a balance here, and I'm still yet to find the balance that really hits it off for me. I can get pretty good, but for example, we can add 2 scalpers and 2 day traders. So it's using those 2 techniques, like the scalper here, it's using that in the higher and lower time frames compared, and as well as adding the day trader one. So you'll see it come up here now. So here it's saying relax, nothing to see here. So basically it's saying, the indicator's saying it thinks it's gonna just range at this point. And as you can see, it is kind of ranging there. So you want to wait until that status changes. I've got a back test running here. So I use a program called Sphere Tester, and it allows me to test multiple time frames to do back testing on. So, and that's exactly what I'm doing here. So for this example, I've got the 1 hour time frame and up to the day time frame, and it believes that it's going to go into a small buy here. If all of these are lit up blue, you'll get a strong buy, and if they're all lit up red, you'll get a strong sell. If it's 67%, which is what it is now, you'll get a small buy or a small sell. So as I said, I'm yet to find a really good setting for this, but when I do, I'll definitely let you know. But this is better than nothing. It definitely gives you a good indication where price is heading. So what else was I going to show you here? Okay, so as you can see, I've got binary arrow turned on. I'm not sure why I called it binary. It's because I was actually working on a binary system when I decided to add this arrow in. So what this does is, if this is set to true and these alerts are set to both buy, what it'll do, if this is a small buy or a strong buy and it wants to trigger a up arrow, then it will. Okay, but if the up arrow wants to trigger and this is saying nothing to see here, or it's saying short, it's not going to trigger that arrow. So that's what that does. But if you're going to activate this binary arrow option, do not look at your past history, because your history will only be accurate if you've left it running the way it is without changing your settings. So it's only for the now arrow. Okay. If you want to look at your history arrow, you really need to turn that feature off. And they're your real arrows. That's your history arrows. I hope that kind of makes sense. So back to the other chart. This is a feature I use to identify ranging periods and trending periods. So I can stop my arrows actually triggering in a range, or I can make them only trigger in a trend. It doesn't use moving averages. It's actually kind of a bit more advanced than that, so that's why I've added it, because moving averages quite often just doesn't cut the mustard sometimes. So I'll show you how to use that. Basically, we set it to middle, for example, and we'll put this at 100 and 100. See what we can get to show here. And we will take the trend off. We should see these arrows only appearing on ranging areas. So that was the whole idea of the setting, and it works okay. See how it's not triggering down the trend here, up there? There's no arrows showing down this way, not many arrows going up this way because of the trend. It's a good way of being able to trade your top and bottom reversal arrows without getting into a trending situation, because as soon as they really start to trend, these ranging arrows, they struggle. So that was the whole idea of that setting, and you can mess around with those numbers and play with that. If you change it to top and bottom, so above and below, that's what the A and B stands for. Now it's going to do the reverse of what that is. So I would think, okay, so now we're only going to get the arrows in the trend and not the ranging periods. And especially if you then change the arrow to a trend, you'll get a really good result, I think. Let's have a look. So theoretically, these arrows won't be triggering in ranging periods. Theoretically. Not too bad. So I might bring out a bit of a trading system utilizing that shortly. Now, for some reason, if you see some little like a little black area, it's because you haven't got enough history downloaded somewhere. So it's saying on the H4 time frame, there's not enough history to load the day trader. That's what that means. So I'm just going to turn it off. So really, I think that pretty much explains most of the indicator. And the next video I'll do will be how to install it and how to configure the EA. Okay, thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day, and please jump on my YouTube channel sometime and thumbs up and subscribe. You know, if it helps me, it helps you eventually. So I really want you guys to succeed. My success is your success, and vice versa. And I definitely don't want to be one of those traders that just takes people's money and not trade live themselves. My primary income, I want to be a full-time trader soon, and my primary income will be from trading itself. And I want to help us all to succeed. So God bless and have a great day. Catch you guys.